Trade wind.
Very good. Okay. Here's the coast of South America. Trade winds. Trade winds are blowing away from the land surface. And water is moving basically to the west. As that water is being pushed over to the west, here water is being pushed over to the west, here's our continent. At this point, water is rising to the surface. Water is coming to the surface. This is cold water from great depths. Again, it's attempting to fill the void created by water being pushed away from the shoreline. And this is upwelling. We have cold water coming up to the surface. From an economic standpoint, upwelling is critical for the fishing industry of South America because it's cold water, it's nutrient rich, and so you have the beginnings of the food chain in this area. And you get the beginnings of the food chain, you have all the way up the food chain. So in this upwelling area, you have cold water coming to the surface. So if you have cold water here, what do you think happens as far as the air mass above the water? It's going to be cool. It's going to be moist. Okay, it's going to be cool and moist. And when that air mass eventually gets an opportunity to move inland, what's going to happen to the temperature within that air mass? Remember, we're in a tropical area. It's going to what? It's going to warm up. As it warms up, what happens to relative humidity? It drops, and if relative humidity is less than 100%, what are the odds of precipitation?
Zero.
Zero. And that's what happens in this area. Okay, at the beginning of the semester, I mentioned that don't tolerate cell phones even if they vibrate and call you out. So if you have received a message that needs you, grab your books, leave, don't return. It disrupts everything. Okay? Thank you. So upwelling causes extremely dry conditions in parts of planet Earth. Okay, when we talk about B climates and the amount of precipitation, B climates are a function of A, not a lot of water to begin with, but also temperature. How much precip do we get here in Wausau, roughly? Too much? About 30 inches. 30 to 35 inches. If we took this 35 inches of precip and introduced it into Central Australia, you would still have a B climate because evapotranspiration is so high. So the B climates are basically a combination of low water, high temperature. And when we talk about precipitation in a B environment, first of all, it's very scarce. Generally, in a desert, it's less than 12 inches per year. If you see something less than 12 inches per year in high temps, it's a desert. It's intermittent, meaning that it may rain some summers, it may skip a couple of months, it may rain again. You can't expect a seasonal distribution. It's truly intermittent. It's unreliable. This area in Chile may get 1 inch of rain every 20 years and nothing in between. So if you take that 1 inch of rain divided by 20, the rainfall total would be 0.05 inches per year. But you can't count on that amount from year to year. The reliability, the lower the rainfall total anymore, the lower the rainfall total, the less reliable that you're going to meet that total. So, very unreliable. Fourth thing, intensity. Typically in a desert environment, thunderstorms, very intense rainfall, short periods of time. Creates major problems. When you think of a desert environment and how that landscape is sculptured, what is more important, wind or water? Water. Water modifies the desert's landscape far more than winds. It's infrequent, but when it rains, it just moves the material, it loads the material rather rapidly. Any backpackers here? Anybody ever put a backpack on and take out for a day, a couple of days, 3 to 10? What the hell? Why not? I mean, you can't see the world from the highway. You can't. You've got to get away from the highway, get away from McDonald's, and get back where.
I walk in the woods.
Yeah, the Marathon Park is not the
That's
woods.
not. Yeah, I live in the woods.
I live in
Well, yeah,
Greenwood.
but that's only, what, an hour? 2?
You're
Anyway,
making stretch out all day.
when you develop this backpacking habit, you will. Some of you. If you do it in the Southwest, watch the weather reports. Because in the Southwest, we lose 2 to 3 hikers every year because they don't know the basic elements of weather and climate. You all know what an arroyo is, correct? You don't know what an arroyo, A-R-R-O-Y-O. An arroyo is a deeply incised channel.
How do you spell that?
A-R-R-O-Y-O. The deeply incised channelway in the semi-arid region. Water flows in it periodically. Great place to hike. If you're into fossils or Indian artifacts, great place to go because that stuff flows into these things. The water evaporates out, leaving behind a rich deposit of minerals and artifacts. So if you're in this area, obviously mountains several miles away, if it rains, guess where your water ends up? Ends up in here. And because these things are so narrow, it is not uncommon within a matter of minutes to go from bone dry to I want my mother. Because there is literally, when water comes down, you think the toilet flushes well? This thing really flushes out. The water just comes gushing through this, and it's not a trickle. I mean, it is a wall of water, and bam, you get rocks, you get debris, you get tree stumps, everything else is churning in this mass. And unfortunately, unless you have gecko-like paws, climbing out of this thing is going to be impossible. And that's how come we lose hikers. They don't. The weather report above the road, unimportant. It's mountains that lead into this place that you really want to watch.
That still makes me want to go back.
What?
That still makes me want to go.
Oh, yeah. Well, one thing that happen, you won't see a lot of other folks on it.
Yeah,
It's just a
but I
great,
can't.
great place to go. Okay. So when we talk about bee climates and scarce water, intermittent, intense, and unreliable. Okay, so Copen then, with this information, put together 4 distinct patterns. The deserts, and these are hot deserts and cold deserts. And the desert are BWH and BWK, but don't worry about the modifiers, but the hot and cold deserts. In both cases, summer temperatures exceed 100 degrees quite frequently. The distinction between the 2 desert environments are the winter temperatures. In the BWK, which are the cold environments, snowfall is not uncommon, whereas in the hot deserts, temperature stays above 64 degrees for the coolest month. So the BWHs are adjacent to the savanna types of area. They're more tropical in nature, tropical and subtropical, whereas the BWKs are mid-latitude. And they're generally all the way through the mid-latitudes, lower mid-latitudes to upper mid-latitudes. And so you have a great deal